guys, it's Glenn from Glenn'sCarCollection.com, and today we're going to talk about why you need to buy an E92 M3 right now. Now, I just flew in from Car Week from Monterey back to New Jersey late last night. Hopefully, while you're watching this video, I'm still asleep, because I'm going to be jet lagged today for sure. But I wanted to get this video out to you so we didn't miss a video. I post a new video every Monday. Look for my YouTube shorts that are usually posted on Wednesday or Friday. I posted a lot of YouTube shorts last week in Monterey, so make sure to check those out. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment below what you think about the E90 M3s, if this is a good buy to buy right now, and share this with your friends. The more subscribers I have, the more cool cars I can review. All right, so I used to own an E90 M3. What's the difference between E92 and E90? The E92s are the coupes, the E90s are the sedans, the E93s are the convertibles. They only came with one engine, and that was the V8. The most common spec is this: a white coupe, which is E92 DCT. One of the rarest specs is this orange in the Lime Rock edition. And pretty much every edition, this is my actual car here, which is an '08, and you can tell it's an '08 because of the white taillights. They actually did an LCI update in '09. We have a review of this car, an E92 M3 with Melbourne red and a bamboo interior, which was a manual transmission car just like mine. Mine was also a slick top, Interlagos Blue Sedan slick top. However you choose it, whatever transmission you go with, the DCT or the 6-speed manual, they are both fantastic transmissions. I prefer the manual, and I think the manual is more collectible, but I know a lot of hard manual drivers who own DCT versions of the E90 Series M3 and prefer the DCT. Here's another picture of my car. I had this car for 6 years because I honestly couldn't find better value for the money. If you're a long-term follower of the channel, I did a comparison test between an E46 M3, which I've owned a couple of, and an E92 M3, which I've owned one, back-to-back, driving on the same roads, comparing the two, and it was so close which one I like better. There's a lot of great things. I think the E46 M3 looks better, but I think the E90X definitely wins for the engine with this V8, revs to over 8,000 RPM, 414 horsepower, 295 foot-pounds of torque. Two transmissions, and they're both great. E46 M3, you always want the manual because the SMG is horrible. But the DCT, the dual-clutch transmission here, is great, so you can choose that or the 6-speed. Later models, you can also get competition packages on the car. Obviously, that's going to add to resale value, but you're also going to pay more to get it. Now, I drive a lot of cool cars here on the channel, everything from V12 Ferraris and Lamborghinis to 4 cylinders like my S2000. And I think the E90 series M3s, whether you choose the E92 coupe, the E93, the convertible, or the E90 sedan, I think there are a lot of great value for the money. You can get good versions of these cars in the $30,000 to $40,000 price range. There are some issues, which I go over in other videos of the channel. There's an Atlantis Blue competition. That's worth a pretty penny. There are some issues, so you probably need to do the rod bearings and the throttle actuators. My car, the throttle actuators went about 38,000 miles, and that was my daily driver, so I wasn't beating on the car. I drove it every day, even had 2 kids in baby seats. And I couldn't find a better car for the money. Yeah, I'd like to trade that in and get a 911 or something like that, but a 911 is double the price. Is it double as good as this car? I'm not sure, because 911s don't come with V8s. So I said in my comparison video back in 2017, here's my car again, if you followed the channel, I said buy an E46 M3 in 2017, and a year or so later I did buy another one. And I said you probably had about 5 years to buy an E92 M3, and the reason for that is it's going to take a little while. The older car always goes up first. E46 M3 is such a classic, or a modern classic if you will, and you know the older version always goes up first, and then people discover the next version, and sometimes it's a couple generation off. So when the G80 series M3 came out, people started looking more at the E92 series of M3. So I said in that video in 2017, you probably had 5 good years before you had to buy one. And then somebody's going to say, hey, can you believe it? You could get an M3 in a V8, and it was the only time the M3 was offered in a V8. And of course, if you've seen since the pandemic starting in 2021, in 2022, prices have really started to skyrocket. Now at high interest rates, there could be an opportunity to buy a car. Now, always set, you know, these are older cars now. The earliest ones were model year 2008. And here in the US, they actually came out, the launch was March or April of 2008. So they weren't actually sold in 2007 as a model year 2008. They didn't come out to the spring of 2008. And you'll definitely have to set aside money for rod bearings and throttle actuators. It's probably about $5,000 total to do all that. And I highly recommend you do it. Don't buy a used car from somebody who said, well, the previous owner told me they were done. Make sure you have documentation in writing. And then if possible, call that shop and see if you can actually verify it, because there are a lot of fake receipts. I would try to buy the lowest mileage car you can find. As I proved, throttle actuators can go out at any mileage. But rod bearings, obviously, if you get a higher mileage car, you're going to have to do it. And if a car had rod bearings done 50,000 miles ago or 100,000 miles ago, you might want to do them again. I think what you want to do is reset the clock, and this can be a very reliable car. So I always say that cars that are highly maintained from when they were new usually continue to be reliable. Cars that were always neglected and never had any maintenance done or preventive maintenance and were always a problem and always needed stuff will tend to always need stuff. So even though they're both E92s and E90s, you can find people on the forums or anywhere that had vastly different experiences. So those are the things to look out for. I have a ton of videos on these cars on the channel you can look up, and I'll get way more specific. I don't have time in a video here, but you always want to buy, I think, the lowest mileage car you can afford. I don't think there's a huge difference between the 08s and the 13s unless you're getting the competition package. Competition package is well worth it, but it probably adds $10,000 to the price. So I think you can probably have a lot of fun with the 08. Now I had a single hump car. A single hump car is no navigation. I don't like the iDrive from 08. They changed the iDrive with the LCI updates in 2009. And then the iDrive is the same as my 2011 1 Series M, essentially. So for the 08s, I would do a single hump car, not with the old iDrive, because that's almost the iDrive like from the V10, M5, and M6. But what's great about this car, it's rear drive. This car really just needs an exhaust to be epic and maybe one of those carbon fiber intakes. But you got an 8,000 RPM motor. As long as you warm it up, you're going to use the right oil and you're going to change it often. But this is just a car that is well worth that $30,000 or $40,000 experience. Now, if you get really low mileage garage queens, unless you really have a connection to this car and you're going to keep it forever, I don't think these are $50,000 or $60,000 driving experiences. But if you can get a car in the threes or maybe even the low fours, 40,000, and a highly maintained car that you can keep for a long time, I think you could do a lot worse than an E92 M3, and I highly recommend this car. Make mine an E90 sedan, single hump with a manual transmission and a slick top like I used to have, and an Interlagos blue or Le Mans blue. Thanks again for watching, guys. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next Monday. Look out for my